So geographical indication is generally is a component of IPR. You must have read IPR. When you study law, you'll get to know about more aspects of IPR, intellectual property rights. But there are so many components of IPR like copyright, patent, trademark, and so on. So geographical indication is also a component of IPR. So if we start from the basic definition of geographical indication, it is a geographical indication is usually a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities or reputation that are due to that origin. So the main idea behind geographical indication is to get to know the origin of the product. For example, I'll give you an example like Madhubani painting. So when you hear these sort of things like Madhubani paintings, you just relate this aspect to Bihar. Why? Because it is a GI certified tag. So these things are relevant because you just got to know the product and the place. There's a link between the product and the origin of the place, right? So another example is Shahi Lychee. Now Shahi Lychee is also a GI tag for Bihar. It is specially found in Muzaffarpur. So I'll give you a fun fact with regard to geographical indication and with regard to lychee, which is in news in summer. So the first consignment of GI certified lychee from Bihar was exported to UK this year. It was in news. Now it's not relevant for your CLAT examination. I'm just giving you a brief idea that why is this so relevant? Why geographical indication tag is so relevant for many countries, for states. Even I'll give in further lecture I'll give you a case study when countries are fighting for GI tag. For example, I'll discuss this in more detail. For example, there was a dispute between India and Pakistan over the basmati rice GI tag. So it is also coming in news recently. So I'll discuss more in my further lecture. So now, in order to function as a GI, a sign must identify a product as originating in a given place, right? So first you know the product, then you got to know that product belonged to that place, that particular place, like Darjeeling tea. Now Darjeeling tea is only found in Darjeeling, right? You can't grow that tea in Bihar and say this is Darjeeling tea. So GI certified tag is that much important, right? In economics point of view, it is also relevant because countries are getting income from that thing, right? In other countries like for example this Shahi Lychee wala thing, so this thing has been exported to UK. Now UK know this product is from Bihar, it is from India, so the country itself, like India, is exporting this product to some other country and earning income through that thing, right? So next, the qualities, characteristics or reputation of the product should be essentially due to the origin, due to the place of origin, and like I said, there's a clear link between the product and its original place of production. Coming to next slide, I'll discuss the significance of GI tag, geographical indication tag. Now, when you get a GI certified tag, no other producer or any other company can misuse the name to market similar products, right? Second one is it provides comfort to customers regarding the authenticity of that product. For example, when you are going to the market, when you are going to market, you and buy some sort of gold, for example. Now, you know there are some places that are very authentic. There are some places that you know that they must sell you some sort of genuine product. So GI certified tag gives you that kind of thing that those products are very genuine. These are like for if I will give you an example of some standard mark. There's a standard mark of BIS hallmark something. So when you get these kind of mark, or when you get to know that these kind of authenticity is attached to that product, you are always comfortable with that product, right? So that's what it provides comfort to customers. Next is a registered GI prohibits a third party to use such GI by any means in the designation or presentation of goods, indicating that such goods originate in a geographical area. For example, another example is in the jurisdictions in which the Darjeeling geographical indication is protected, producers of Darjeeling tea can exclude the use of the term Darjeeling for tea not grown in their tea gardens or not produced according to the standards set out in the code of practice for the geographical indication. Like I said before, कि Darjeeling tea अगर है, so you can't grow some other sort of tea and name that product as it is Darjeeling tea. No, you'll have to face some penalty because it is legally protected rights, so you'll face some consequences with regard to that, right? So next is now you know what is GI tag, what is the significance of geographical indication tag. Next is I'll give you just a basic idea because it's not very relevant to go into the detail of what conventions we are talking about or what are the articles that are that cover GI. I'm just giving you a basic idea that GI tag is mentioned in some international convention or even in national legal laws, national laws. So first one is the TRIPS agreement. So a TRIPS agreement is like trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. Now article 22.1 of TRIPS agreement defines GI. Now the definition of GI is basically the same which I have said before. Now I'm just giving you this fact that there are agreements that define GI tag. Next is Paris Convention, Article 1 Clause 2 of Paris Convention also which was being adopted in 1883 covered GI as a component of IPR. Now coming to national importance or national laws or national protection which this tag has is India enacted the GI Geographical Indication of Goods Act 1999 which came into force with effect from 2003. Now this is the point you should remember always because it is relevant to your examination, because you can get a question like which law protects the geographical indication tag, right? So it is a very one-liner fact, it is a factual thing, so you must have known that the Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999, but it came into force from 2003. Okay. So there are some basic points which I'll discuss about the GI tag which are very relevant to your examination, any kind of examination, be it CLAT or AILET or BLAT. So the GI tag, the tag which you get for the product, must refrain from obscene or scandalous matters, right? Obscene or scandalous matters. Next, the term I'm underlining is very relevant. You must focus on these things. Because you'll get a principle in legal question also related to this, because it is being in current aspect of news. So these things will come out in your exam as a editorial thing or as a comprehension thing, right? So next is it shall not hurt the religious sentiment of any section or class of people, because we live in a democratic country. Next is registration for GI tag is valid for a period of 10 years. Now this is very relevant. Now GI tag, once you get the GI tag for a product, now the period through which it is valued is 10 years. Now it can be renewed. You can renew that tag from time to time for a further period of 10 years each, right? So you get a tag, it is valid for 10 years. After 10 years it expired. Now you'll renew this thing from time to time after expiry of that term for a further 10-year interval. Now next is the GI registry for India is located in Chennai. So many students mismatch this thing, like whenever some sort of question come like where is the center or registry for anything like related to law. Students confuse that thing from Delhi. So the most general answer is Delhi in these cases. So that's why I'm stating this fact that GI registry for India is located in Chennai. You can expect these questions in BLAT or AILET, I guess. Yeah. So now the transfer of GI tag is not allowed. What does it mean, transfer of GI tag? Now, for example, I'll get a GI tag. I'm getting a GI tag for a particular product. Now I can't transfer this right from myself to some other guy. I can't transfer this. So this is what I'm focusing, that transfer of GI tag is not at all allowed. Now what are the items covered in GI tag, right? First one is agriculture, agricultural products, agricultural goods, natural goods, and then manufactured goods. Now manufactured goods, what I'm trying to say by manufactured goods is like sari. Like there are some sari, Banarsi sari, or some sort of thing which are being manufactured in the process. So that's what I'm talking about. Now next is India-Pakistan case study on basmati rice. Okay. Now this is related to the dynamic portion of this geographical indication tag. You're not expected to go into the details of the case study because you will get to know many more cases when you get into the law school. So I'll get your basic idea because I'm giving you this case study only for you to retain these aspects of GI. Because when you come through a case study, you'll get these things ingrained in your brain. So that's why I'm saying, mentioning this case study. So India-Pakistan case study on basmati rice. First is India applied for protected GI status from European Union Council. So India applied for this basmati rice GI tag in European Union Council. Now when India applied for this move, Pakistan opposed this move. Now Pakistan opposed this move and enacted an act in their country which gives them the right to oppose Indian application. Okay. Then the basic argument, what was the argument behind this? Both the countries have an argument with regard to this. Now India said that the region producing basmati rice is a part of northern India. Northern India means Uttarakhand, Jammu Kashmir. These are the northern India aspect. These are the northern India, like those which are in the uppermost portion of the map of India. Now Pakistan said that it is a joint product of both the countries. Okay. Now the case is not finalized yet, but we are expecting that both the countries will get this shared aspect of this. So this was the case study. I'm just again I'm mentioning this that it is not very relevant to your exam because CLAT will not ask what is the aspect of India-Pakistan case. I'm just mentioning this because you will get a basic idea about the GI tag and why is this so relevant for even countries, right? So that's why. Next is now this is a editorial. It was I guess in September in Hindu, I guess, how GI tag can become a source for economic and soft power, right? So now GI tag has some relevance in the economic aspects, right? Now first point is geographical indication tag can strengthen e-commerce in rural areas and actively promote agricultural products in lesser developed areas. For example, I'll give you an example. This is a fact that using GI tag, China increases its rural online retail sales, right? So these things, the certification tag is very important for a country to increase their rural share or even an urban share, but because the grassroots level is so important, so that's why I'm mentioning China, that how it developed over years. So next is it has the potential to empower small industries to compete with large companies. Now for example, when you get a GI tag, when a product gets GI tag, it gets an international importance. First of all, it gets a national importance, and then, like for example, India have applied for basmati rice GI tag in European Council. Now suppose India will get the tag, only India will get the tag, and it doesn't have, we don't have to share it with Pakistan. So what will happen? India will have the monopoly over basmati rice export, right? In the international market, if some other country wants basmati rice, they will contact India, because after the certification, India will be the only country to be in that platform. So that's why I'm saying it gets international importance. Now if we get an international importance, it will eventually develop our industries, even small industries or large industries. It will eventually develop these industries. Now third is, it helps in quality production and higher economic gains. What I have already mentioned, the higher economic gains aspect. Now quality production is that if you get a certification, that means it is genuine and the quality of that thing will be improved. Otherwise it won't get a certification if the quality of that product is not very well, because eventually it will get transformed into something very relevant or something very important in a scenario where everyone is watching, right? So competition leads to development, right? So that's what. Now it benefits local communities like rural areas. If we get some GI tag in rural areas or some product which belongs to a rural areas, so it will benefit local communities which are being there, which are producing these goods or which are manufacturing these goods locally. So they will benefit. It will benefit these communities. Now last thing is, it will resolve three major challenges which are being faced by poor. It is a very dynamic thing. So low female participation first, poor pay for talent, and urban migration. Now I'll give you an idea about this. Now poor pay for talent. So for example, if a product is not GI certified, they'll get a remuneration very normal or very reasonable, say. But if some sort of tag is attached to it, if some sort of certification is attached to it, like I said, it will get higher economic gains, right? So everything is linked. So if you get higher economic gains, then the poverty problem will get solved at some point of level, and the people who are involved in the production and manufacturing a process of those products will get a better salary, a better remuneration, right? Next is urban migration. Now people migrate to urban areas because they get low income, because they are having low income in rural areas, or for some employment scenario. Employment is greater in urban areas than rural areas, so people eventually migrate to urban areas. So it will also solve the urban migration. If we have every opportunity in rural areas, if we get a good amount of income in rural areas, why will they migrate to urban areas? So that's what it is. Now this is the list of some recent GI tags. Recent GI tags means these tags are being given in 2021. So it is relevant for you. Now there are more than 300 or 400, there are more than 400 GI tags in India. But these 10 or 11, I guess, GI tags are very important because these are given in 2021 itself. So you'll have a list, you'll get a list from my PPT, and then you can remember. So first one is Kashmiri saffron from Jammu and Kashmir, Manipuri black rice, Manipur. You'll remember these name by name itself, like Kashmiri saffron, so Jammu and Kashmir, Manipuri black rice from Manipur. There are some also GI tags which are very difficult in pronunciation, but you'll remember if you go through these things regularly, you'll ingrain these topics in your head. So make a list of these things, because at the end of the exam you'll revise from these things, right? The more you revise, the more you'll get marks in GK. So this is the list of GI tags in 2021. So now I have some questions related to the topic. First, there are 5 questions which I think is very factual and maybe relevant for your, if not relevant to CLAT, then it will be relevant for your AILET, NLUD and BLAT examination, and also symbiosis and all. So which is the first Indian product to get GI tag? So Darjeeling tea in 2004 is the first Indian product to get the GI tag. Now you'll remember this thing. One thing is you'll also remember is that the GI Act 1999 was being adopted, and it was enforced and came into effect from 2003. Now the next year Darjeeling tea get the GI tag. Now this is how you remember from GI Act कब आया 2003 में आया. Then next year Darjeeling tea was the first Indian product to get GI tag. Now where is the GI registry for India is located? Chennai. Now registration for GI tag is valid for how many years? 10. Who is the world's largest exporter of basmati rice? India. Right. So why is this question relevant? I'm asking you. Okay. Now I'll tell you why this question is important. Now you get an editorial about the India-Pakistan case study, India-Pakistan dispute over basmati rice, right? So this is the question which can be asked from you in any kind of exam, be CLAT or AILET or BLAT. Like because the dispute is over basmati rice, so who is the world's largest exporter of basmati rice? You'll get this detail in your editorial, but you won't focus much more on this thing. So it's better to attempt some question with regard to this, like quiz. So this is how it is important. Now what you have to remember is just that world's largest exporter of basmati rice is India. Now GI tag is given as per the GI Act, right? So this is the legal, this is the law which protects GI tag. If you do some, if third party uses this tag for their own benefit, and then they'll get penalty from this act.